Hello everyone, this is Mumbo here, welcome back, and today we're going to be taking a look at a bit of a high-low tech solution in the form of the block swapper circuit. Now what this essentially does is provide all of the information required to operate a block swapper, so then you just hook up the pistons to the corresponding outputs and you'll have one that works like a charm. Now the reason that this is useful is if you've got a ton of block swappers that you want to hook up, you don't want to have an individual circuit for each one, you just want a circuit that does the job and then you can hook up the pistons, and I guess this does a pretty good job at doing just that. Now obviously if you were going to use this for just one block swapper, it would sort of be pointless because it creates a pretty huge mechanism, but I might as well show you it in action. So we just hit this button here and you'll see that the block gets swapped out and changed out for a piece of glowstone, so you've got yourself a nice looking lamp. And then if we just hit this button again, you'll see that the same thing happens but the other way round. This, on the other hand, is a little bit more like it. We've got a bunch of block swappers hooked up to our circuits, then when we hit this button here, we get a nice little lighting up pathway that transfers along. We got a 1 tick delay between each one, and it looks really cool, and we can do the same thing for the closing. Like I said, just hit the button, and then the floor will be replaced. Now this works very well, and this is the design purpose. Now as you can also see, is that this one is a vertical block swapper. I originally showed you a horizontal one. It will also work for downwards as well, so you can have all the orientations for that one, which is pretty sweet. So now that I've shown you all that, how it works, and a couple of examples of it working, there's only one thing left to do, and that is to crack on with the tutorial, so let's go. So you want to get things started with a 5x3 area, place a block with your button on it and a piece of redstone dust in the middle, then a block up like this on either side, and then a repeater on either side once again. And then you just want to do your T flip-flop, so you want to place a dropper facing upwards there, a dropper facing across, and then a dropper facing into this one here. Now that one's a little bit more difficult to do. As you can see, I'm flailing about everywhere. You just place it like that, and then a hopper running into that dropper with a random item in one of your droppers. Then you want to repeat the same thing on the other side. So that is a dropper facing upwards, a dropper facing across, and then a dropper facing into the other dropper, and then once again your hopper running into the top of that dropper. God blimey, I never thought I'd say that so many times, but there we go, that's it all done. Now just to clarify, you want your first item to be in this first dropper here, and then your second item, it needs to be in this second dropper here. So then if you take comparator outputs out of both of those droppers, you should see that one of them is on and one of them is off. Now that is pretty essential. You will also see that if we press this button back here, we will get alternate outputs. So then this one will come on, this one will go off, and vice versa. You've seen it all before. There it is. That's pretty much the main mechanic that this uses. So now there's only one thing left to do, and that is to create the monostable circuit that goes in the middle. So you just want to place a dropper like this, and then a hopper running into that, and once again place a random item inside that dropper, and you'll have yourself a monostable circuit. Just take a comparator output out, and then a block up like this. This is the center block, this is obviously your left piston and your right piston. So now that the circuit is done, you just have to hook it up to some form of block swapper. Now it is worth noting, unless you hadn't gathered, that there has to be an identical amount of delay between each piston. So you can see that this makes up one tile of the block swapper. These all correlate together and they all have 1 tick delay between them. Whereas these ones at the end, I think they've got about 8 ticks delay between them. It's quite a long delay, but it's the same for each of the pistons in that block swapper. If you don't have the same delay, for example, if you set this one here to 4 ticks, then the whole mechanism won't work and you'll have a useless little piston device, which nobody wants. Now if you do want a little bit more information on how to wire up the block swapper itself, I will provide a world download in the description below that you can check out for yourself and see just how I've done it. But unfortunately, that is all I've got time for today, so if you enjoyed this video, please remember to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching guys, this has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.